welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about an interesting theory that I saw on the textbook. In the chapter 7, we studied the communication theory of Harold Laswell. Before his contribution to communication structure and function, he also has some wonderful theories that focus on propaganda, such as magic bullet theory, or so-called hypodermic needle of communication. So, for this video, I want to briefly explain what is magic bullet theory and discover its limitations, as well as provide some real-life example, such as a book called 1984, which is written by George Orwell, and a movie called V for Vendetta. Laswell's work on propaganda was groundbreaking because it illustrated how, why, and under what conditions propagandists could be successful. So, magic bullet theory is a popular communication effect theory from the beginning of the 20th century to the end of 1930s. The psychological warfare in the World War II and the great influence of media such as newspapers, films, and radio in political, economic, and daily life verify the effect of the magic bullet. The communication research in this period was also influenced by the mass media that we studied in Chapter 9. According to this theory, the media have an irresistible power, and the information they transmit can cause immediate and quick response, just like a bullet hitting the body, or a hypodermic needle injected into the skin of the recipient. They can influence people's attitudes and opinions and even directly control their actions.
Example: Martian invasion of Earth.
On October 30, 1938, CBS broadcast a radio drama adapted from the science fiction Star Wars, which caused great panic in the country. At least 6 million people were listening to the drama, and they were frightened. Hundreds of people called police and fire departments for the updates, and just as many rushed to the store to purchase emergency supplies to protect themselves.
Limitation criticism.
As the example we discussed before, the principal university immediately investigated the incidents. The result shows that information in a certain time, place, and condition has a strong impact on a certain type of audience, and the combined effect of those factors can make a certain effect extremely prominent and obvious. This result also reinforces people's fear of the powerful effects of media. However, the magic bullet theory is wrong, which is mainly manifested in its voluntarism. It exaggerates the power and influence of mass communication, ignores various objective social factors that affect the communication effect, and denies the audience active choice and the ability of using media. It is just too simple to describe the process of the communication. On the one hand, the media is sending the information to the public. On the other hand, the public are waiting to accept it, and there's nothing else in between. So with the deepening of communication effect research, this will naturally be abandoned.
What are your true feelings towards Big Brother?
Hate.
You must love him. It's not enough to obey him. You must love him.
The film of the book of the year. George Orwell's 1984.
Good evening, London. Allow me first to apologize for this
Emergency channel!
I do, like many of you, appreciate the comforts of the everyday routine, the security of the familiar, the tranquility of repetition.
Bloody hell.
I enjoy them as much as any bloke. But in the spirit of commemoration,
Who's that, Mum?
whereby those important events of the past, usually associated with someone's death or the end of some awful bloody struggle, are celebrated with a nice holiday, I thought we could mark this November the 5th, a day that is sadly no longer remembered, by taking some time out of our daily lives to sit down and have a little chat. There are, of course, those who do not want us to speak.
Let me think, just let
I
me think.
suspect even now, orders are being shouted into telephones, and men with guns will soon be on their way.
It's Chancellor Sutler.
Damn it!
Why? Because while the truncheon may be used in lieu of conversation, words will always retain their power. Words offer the means to meaning, and for those who will listen, the enunciation of truth. And the truth is, there is something terribly wrong with this country, isn't there?
You designed it, sir. You wanted it foolproof. You told me every television in London.
Cruelty and injustice, intolerance and oppression. And where once you had the freedom to object, to think and speak as you saw fit, you now have censors and systems of surveillance coercing your conformity and soliciting
Cameras.
your submission.
We need cameras.
How did this happen? Who's to blame? Well, certainly there are those who are more responsible than others, and they will be held accountable. But again, truth be told, if you're looking for the guilty, you need only look into a mirror. I know why you did it. I know you were afraid. Who wouldn't be? War, terror, disease. There were a myriad of problems which conspired to corrupt your reason and rob you of your common sense. Fear got the best of you, and in your panic you turned to the now High Chancellor Adam Sutler. He promised you order, he promised you peace, and all he demanded in return was your silent, obedient consent.
Inspector, you're almost through.
Last night, I sought to end that silence. Last night, I destroyed the Old Bailey to remind this country of what it has forgotten. More than 400 years ago, a great citizen wished to embed the 5th of November forever in our memory. His hope was to remind the world that fairness, justice, and freedom are more than words. They are perspectives. So if you've seen nothing, if the crimes of this government remain unknown to you, then I would suggest that you allow the 5th of November to pass unmarked. But if you see what I see, if you feel as I feel, and if you would seek as I seek, then I ask you to stand beside me 1 year from tonight, outside the gates of Parliament, and together we shall give them a 5th of November that shall never, ever be